More scandal for the NFL. This time, a former executive says the league covered up hundreds of domestic violence cases. We're talking about Jerry Angelo. He's the former general manager of the Chicago Bears. He made that claim to USA Today, also telling them he is ashamed for his role in the cover-ups. But now he's saying that quote was taken out of context. He claims he said hundreds of things have improved in the NFL over the years, and domestic violence is one of them. The league has been trying to get out in front of all the recent scandals. Just this week, they hosted a domestic violence and sexual assault education session. Team owners and executives were shown this video. It stars former linebacker Joe Ehrmann. Take a look.
Think about the women in your life, the women that you love and care for, the women that have nurtured you, our mothers, our grandmothers, our wives, daughters, nieces. Take a moment and just think about them. Think about the love, the care that you have for them and them for you. And now just imagine that they're at a party and there's some man in there that starts to assault them, whether that is physically, sexually, verbally. They start to assault a woman that you love. Think how that makes you feel. Think about your feelings toward that perpetrator of that violence. And then I would ask you, as you think about that, think about the role that you have to raise up a generation of men that are going to have the clarity, have the moral courage to call out other men.
Well, Chris Valletta is a former NFL player. He is also the co-founder of Mission Athlete Care. Chris, thanks for being with us. You know, I want to first get your reaction about that video. This has been so important because they need to get out in front of this issue. Is it enough to just tell them, think about domestic violence?
Well, look, I mean, of course, it's not enough. And this, we have to be mindful. This isn't just an NFL issue. This is a national issue. 1.3 million women are victims of domestic violence. There's 2,000 players in the NFL. Certainly an issue in the NFL, as it is everywhere. But the NFL is in a unique opportunity, a unique position right now to be the leader in the charge against standing up to domestic violence. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar organization with influence that spans the globe. The time is now. Well, and I think that video addresses some of it.
And that's what I think the conversation has said. They're thinking too much about dollar signs up until this point when they had to face it because of the pressure that was brought upon based on that video from Ray Rice. But let's talk about Jerry Angelo's admission and then him backing away from it, saying that he was misquoted. Do you think there was some pressure from the league on that part?
You know, I can't speculate, but, you know, I don't know. I wasn't there, and there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of he said, she said. So I don't want to put words in his mouth. What I do want to say is that there's a unique opportunity. I'm a former player. I know several former players. I'm friends with a ton of them. On the whole, the NFL has a crew of upstanding and amazing men and women who work in the offices. This is a monumental issue, and it's an issue that now spans not just in the NFL, but can trickle down into colleges and the prep leagues. And there's a significant opportunity to change it. So I don't know what he said. I frankly, it's too much speculation for me. I deal with facts. And I sat in a room. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I sat in a room with Commissioner Goodell this week. He asked me and some former players to come in and advise on the personal conduct policies in the NFL, to talk about the issues facing the NFL today. What we can do to get ahead of the issues at the present and in the long term. I saw a man in the commissioner who was deeply committed to making lasting change, and I will tell you, significant changes are coming.
What did you suggest to him?
My suggestion was on a few fronts. Number one, we need to eliminate the gray and the subjective parts of the personal conduct policy, and that's not just for the players to sign. That's for every employee in the NFL to sign. Eliminate the gray, get more definitive and black and white in what the personal conduct policy stands for. Number two, my suggestion was, you know, the NFL needs to step out in front of this issue, both in the short term with you know, addressing the conduct policy, but in the long term by establishing a credo for the NFL, creating a voice for who the NFL wants to be, what impact do they want to have, what is the societal and generational impact that the NFL wants to stand for, and actually get behind that and make it a credo for the organization from the top down, and literally write it in stone and put it on plaques in the NFL locker rooms, because 99% of the players will support it and they will live up to it. And then every decision that gets made, from players being drafted to disciplinary action will be measured against this credo.
Chris, obviously you bring a unique perspective having sat down with Goodell this week. We really appreciate you being with us. You take care.
You too. Thanks.
Well, coming up next.